first is just defunct coins, and this is a penny they don't make anymore. A 1900 Indian head penny. They haven't made Indian head pennies in over 100 years, but you can still find them in circulation and they still have monetary value to them. I got to thinking, there are tons of old coins you can find in circulation that still have monetary value, and dollar bills as well. But has the U.S. ever made a dollar bill that no longer has monetary value? Have there been dollar bills that have been demonetized? And the answer is yes. Yes, there have. And I'm going to cover a few. Before I cover them, I want to say don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit that bell icon. And I put emphasis on the subscribe because if you haven't, make sure you do. I really want to get to 300 subscribers by the end of the year, and in the best case scenario, by the end of the month. And we're at the beginning of the month so far, so make sure to do that. And my email and social media are down below if you want to do anything with that. So without further ado, let's get to the dollar bills that have lost all monetary value. This first dollar bill is not necessarily defunct, but it's rare. And I did say they're all defunct, but a lot of these are defunct, but a few are just uncommon. So just to correct that before I get started. And that's why you see the $2 bill right before you here. The first $2 bills were printed in 1862. They originally featured a portrait of Alexander Hamilton, but they were later redesigned to portray Thomas Jefferson. Aesthetically, the $2 bill is something to behold. The reverse side features a reproduction of one of the most famous paintings in history, Declaration of Independence by John Trumbull. Excluding the decade from 1966 to 1976, $2 bills are printed uninterruptedly since the Civil War. Yet, the average American who doesn't handle cash for a living can go years without seeing one. The $2 bill is still in circulation, and the Bureau of Engraving and Printing recognizes as illegal tender. It's considered to be one of the rarest currency denominations in the U.S. There are still 1.3 billion of them in circulation, and that was from 2019. If you think the $100 bill is a large denomination of currency, the next few bills make the $100 bill look like the $1 bill. That being said, the next bill up is the $500 bill. The Treasury minted several versions of the $500 bill, featuring a portrait of President William McKinley on the front. The last $500 bill rolled off the presses in 1945, and it was formally discontinued 24 years later in 1969. Like all bills featured here, the $500 bill still remains legal tender. Most $500 notes are in circulation today, and they're in the hands of dealers and collectors. That being said, if you should come into the possession of a $500 bill, you find that the market value far exceeds its face value, with even worn specimens commanding upward of a 40% premium on the open market. The $1,000 bill. The $1,000 bill, just like the $500 bill, had Alexander Hamilton on it originally, but somebody realized that it would be confusing to have the same former Secretary of Treasury on multiple denominations. Hamilton was ultimately replaced by the 22nd and 24th President, Grover Cleveland. Like the smaller cousin, the $500 bill, it was discontinued in 1969, and like the $500 bill, the $1,000 bill would seem to have a lot more use now than it did then. Why? Inflation. The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, was at an estimated 36.8 back in 1969, And as of December 2019, the US CPI sat at over 256, meaning that a $1,000 bill would be equivalent to $153 today. The Treasury argues that keeping these money denominations would be a bad idea because of money laundering. That being said, hold on to a $1,000 bill, because if it finds your way to your palm, it's worth a lot of money. There are only 165,372 of these bills still bearing Cleveland's visage still in existence. The $5,000 bill is up next. It was initially issued to finance the Revolutionary War, and it was only officially printed by the government when the Civil War began. The bill was graced with a portrait of James Madison. Richard Nixon ordered that the bills be recalled in 1969 due to fear of criminals using them for money laundering activities. Finding a $5,000 bill today takes pure luck. There are fewer than 400 of these banknotes that are to exist. So if you ever find one, keep it forever. Next on the list is the $10,000 bill. $10,000 bill. And that's not the biggest bill I'm going to cover today. Salmon P. Chase may be the most accomplished politician in our nation's history. He never served as president, but he was the governor of and senator from Ohio, and served as the Secretary of Treasury under Abraham Lincoln, and became Supreme Justice of the Supreme Court. Chase is remembered most by he was the guy on the $10,000 bill. The largest denomination ever for public consumption was the $10,000 bill. It never got much use. This lack of use is understandable given the value, and it outstripped its net worth. The net worth of the average American during this time was a lot smaller than the $10,000 bill. It was first printed in 1918, and it was a part of the 1969 purge of large currencies. Like the $5,000 counterpart, only a few hundred authenticated one of these bill samples survived. The last bill on this list, let's just say if you wanted to buy a car, you would have to get change for it. It's the $100,000 bill. Featuring a portrait of Woodrow Wilson, the $100,000 note was actually a gold certificate that was never issued or circulated for public use. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing created them during the Great Depression in 1934 for conducting official transactions between Federal Reserve banks. Only 42,000 of these $100,000 bills were ever printed. While the $100,000 bill cannot legally be held by collectors, some institutions, like the Museum of American Finance, display them for educational purposes. The Smithsonian Museum and some branches of the Federal Reserve System also have some of these bills in their possession. Some of those dollar bills, they're ginormous. Imagine having one of these dollar bills and going to buy a car and getting change. That's kind of what I was thinking with the last couple of dollar bills. But unfortunately, you can't do that today. All these dollar bills, or at least the majority of them, have no monetary value and have been defunct for a long time. Oh well, what you gonna do? My name is just a fun guy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit that bell icon. My email and social media are down below, and do whatever you want with that information. So, until next time, I am signing off. So long, YouTube.